And for me, it was an absolute no-brainer to switch them back, which we can talk about now if we've got time. So it's just odd that it was in Mexico, isn't it? But I learned a very, very long time ago, you do not tell fans what to think or what to or not to say. They will do what they feel, and so they should. If he'd have had Sergio Perez off in the first corner 3 consecutive years or something, I could have understood it in Mexico. But so I think that's just a misunderstanding of the situation, and somebody asking a specific question, because it didn't make a lot of sense otherwise. But when we used to do the interviews on the podium, that I did for quite a lot of years. I've been up there with Nico getting booed. I've been up there with Sebastian Vettel getting booed, and it's quite something. It's quite powerful. It's quite off-putting, but that's the nature of sports fans, and they'll do what they want and they'll do what they feel like. But it seems that one was particularly kind of stirred up somehow.
Yeah, that was odd, because I don't remember booing in our days, Martin, for some reason, or we just were deaf and didn't hear them. But it was an odd one because it didn't make any sense. In Mexico, a British driver against an Australian in Mexico, why should they care? There was no reason for it. And the Monza thing, I'm with Martin on this one. It's not just a swap. There's much more to that story. And it did make sense. So what's the big deal?
Okay.
Well, the only thing he needs to do is to win by more than 6 points over his teammate, and then nobody will care.
What's happening to Oscar, do you think, Martin, at the moment? Because it's back-to-back races now. As Jack was saying, actually probably stretches back to Baku. But these last 2 races in particular, yes, he recovered from 9th to 5th, and that was a decent end to that drive for him. But the damage was kind of done on Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been done quite a lot in the last few races, and obviously Baku would have scattered his brain. That was a very difficult weekend for him, with twice in the barriers and the jump start, and it seems to have gone off the rails. Without sitting down and talking to Oscar, it's difficult to be fully accurate on this point, but I'm sure McLaren are checking that chassis, the aerodynamics, the fit, the setup of that car ad infinitum to make sure, because they want it. I really honestly believe McLaren don't mind which of their 2 drivers wins the World Championship, as long as it's one of them and it's not Max Verstappen. It's super important to them, and something's happened in Oscar's head. Have we seen any signs of this before in his previous sort of junior racing or in Formula One seasons? That's worth looking into. But something's just gone wrong, and he's lost a bit of confidence. And the way these cars go into corners and how close the competition is at the moment, you only need to be a touch off, and he needs a very solid weekend. Has he got a lot going on in his ears? It comes back to what Jacques was saying a little while ago. We described him as horizontal for pretty much all the season, because that's how he looked. It just seemed to have, and he always has been so calm on the radio, not letting things get to him. And suddenly that glass ceiling or that facade, whatever it is seems to have gone from him, and he's struggling. And rest assured, a team doesn't spend $400 million a year and have 1,500 employees and try to make one of their cars go a little bit more slowly. So everybody associated with Oscar's car will want to turn that around soon, as in Brazil. And you don't suddenly, his wins earlier on in the season, his season, early doors was so astonishing. You don't suddenly forget how to do that.
No, Jack, what's your view on it? Actually, again, just going back to it, we're talking about momentum being important in sport, and Lando's got it